Okay, in this video, we are going to go through a brief overview of the closeout process for a City of Detroit ARPA-funded program. Just to kick things off, it's important to keep in mind during the whole closeout process what exactly we're driving towards, and that is to put together a project folder that contains all of the documentation necessary for a treasury auditor from the federal government to understand what happened with that program, how that program was conceived of, how it was approved, how it was determined that it was a compliant use of ARPA funding, and then eventually how the project was carried out, how procurement went throughout the process, how invoices were reviewed and paid, etc. So in order to put together that project folder in a way that a treasury auditor could know exactly where to find things, we have put together a project folder, a standard project folder structure for every project. If you want to know where to go for resources regarding Project Closeout, you can start at the City of Detroit ARPA Program Hub. This hub has hopefully everything that you would need in terms of resources for running your ARPA project, links to various guides, some forms that you may have had to fill out previously. And if you'll notice at the very bottom, a section for Project Closeout. So if you come to the hub and go to the Project Closeout section, you can see here that there is a Project Closeout guide that looks like this. It's just a short PDF that runs through in a little bit more detail than this video what exactly you should do during closeout. You will also find that you have here a meeting request form. In order to get all the way through project closeout, you'll need to hold 2 meetings. The first is the project closeout meeting, and that is with the ODG ARPA team, ODFS, OCP, and GJC, that's George Johnson and Co., who is our third-party compliance consultant, will also be on that call. That call will basically just walk through your project folder and make sure that it contains everything that it needs. And if it doesn't, then everybody who would have access to the various documents that need to go into that project folder are on that call and will be able to populate that folder either on the call or shortly thereafter. The second meeting is the data closeout meeting. This is for any project that had data reporting requirements, and that basically is walking through with DSNA the various data and data feeds that have come out of your project and making sure that DSNA has all the data or the access to the data in order to put together final reports about your project as well as about ARPA in general. So we have another video that goes over those meetings a little bit more in detail, but you'll need to fill out this meeting request form as soon as you've finished your project work, and those meetings will be scheduled. You'll also see here there's a closeout status report, and there is a row for every project, every ARPA project here, and some important columns are the link to your project folder, as well as a link to your closeout checklist, and those two work together. So your project folder will look like this. All projects have the same subfolders, and your corresponding project checklist. Again, there's another video that goes into this checklist more in depth, but the checklist basically walks through the same structure as the project folder and lets you know the requirements for your specific project, what needs to be in each of those subfolders within your project folder. So you will use this as well as ODG, ODFS, OCP, and GJC to walk through the documentation in the project folder, review everything, and make sure that versions are up to date and everything looks good. And you will fill out this checklist to make sure that you've reviewed everything and it looks good. After the checklist is completely filled out and you've met with the various parties that you need to meet with, ODG will send out a DocuSign that will be circulated to your department head or group executive, and then it will go to ODFS, OCP, GJC, and finally to ODG, for everybody to sign off and say that they've taken a look at the project folder and that everything looks good. And once that DocuSign is completely filled out by everybody, ODG will place it in your project folder and your project will be fully closed out. If you have any questions about this process, again, you can take a look at the hub, and hopefully that has some resources that you need. There are also some other videos, as I mentioned, that go more into depth about the meetings, as well as how to use the project closeout checklist. And finally, you've got up here the various people who you could reach out to who might be able to help you if you still have questions. Thank you for working on Project Closeout. We look forward to working with you.